Hey, what's up guys? Double Sub in here, ready to play another game of Civilization 6. Welcome back to the adventure. Today we're going to play a game as Eleanor of England, but before we get started, I just want to say how grateful I am to every single one of my subscribers, every returning viewer. If you want to support this channel, please hit that like button and leave a comment, and if you want to see more videos like this one, hit subscribe. Here is Eleanor of Aquitaine of England. We're going to play on DD difficulty starting in the Ancient Era, game speed standard, 12 city-states, tilted axis with Apocalypse mode and Sukritact Oceans mod. Let's get into this game. Oh, that is actually not too bad at all. Pretty excited about this start. Seems like we're on a Plains Hill, if I'm not mistaken. We are on a Plains Hill, but we are right next to a volcano, which could be a little bit of a problem in the long run. So I think I might move over to the 2 food, 1 production. The downside to that is that I lose the 1 production in the city center, but the upside to that is I don't have to consistently lose population in my city from the volcano because we are on apocalypse mode. So when you're on apocalypse mode, everything's like super extreme, and it affects within 2 tiles of the volcano gets affected by the volcano itself. So we'd be consistently dealing with repairs and dealing with that kind of annoyance in the capital. The other, the other side of it is I stay where I am. I take a little bit of risk. Yes, I lose a little bit of population here and there, but I get these amazing food yields as the game goes on, and I get the extra production in the early game. I get 2 food, 2 production, 1 faith in the city center. Probably going to work the other 2 food, 2 production tile like in the immediate. So you know what? In the spirit of taking a few risks and having a little fun with the game, and potentially seeing me kind of lose my shit, I might as well just settle right here. Boom. Beautiful. We got the city of London next to a volcano. That is super fun. We are working the 2 food, 1 production, 1 faith. Now I could let this slide. That's 2 faith per turn for the next 13 turns. It's going to get me a Pantheon real early, or I could say screw that, and I can go for the extra production. That boosts me up to 6 production in the capital. It would knock off, I believe, 1 turn off the slinger. It does. It only knocks 1 turn off the slinger, but every turn is like valuable, especially in the early game. I think I'm going to go for the early production because I don't think the early Pantheon really matters to me. I don't really care. Like, I'm not going for any specific Pantheon. I might go for like maybe Ladies of the Reason March because of the 2 marsh, but at the same time, these marsh probably won't end up being here once this volcano erupts. So yeah, I don't really care about the early Pantheon. I think I'm going to go for early Slinger just so that we can defend ourselves against the DDAI. As well, we're going to go for the Animal Husbandry because I think that is probably the best technology that you can research in the early game because it reveals horses, and horses add value to early game tiles. And it also gives you information, like allows you to have that information so that you can settle better cities in the early game. So we're obviously on the south end of the map, so I'm just going to clear some fog of war around London just to make sure there's no barbs kind of sneaking up on us. Let's jump on the rainforest hill. We got ourselves a slinger. I'm going to head north with the slinger, and I'm going to go ahead and pick up a warrior. That's kind of been my opening as of lately, is just to go slinger warrior. I used to like the double slinger opener, or double slinger, sorry. Yes, double slinger, but as well the double scout opener for a while. But I just found that I was getting caught with my pants down half the time by the DD AI and the barbarians, and sometimes getting myself killed. And it just wasn't fun sometimes. So I figured, you know what, it's better to play it safe in the early game. Okay, so we did actually find a set of horses. That's 3 food, 1 production immediately. So hopefully we grow to that tile fairly soon. Now we are working a 2 food, 1 production, 1 faith, which isn't bad. Like I'm not saying that this was a bad tile, but I just find like the 2 food, 2 production in the early game was better for me because I'm not rushing the Pantheon. But if I had a choice, like if we grew to the horse, I'd probably work the horse over this because again, I'm not rushing that early Pantheon. But if I can grow my city a little bit faster, that would be pretty sweet. So we're going to take a shot. I do want to get the kill with the slinger so that we can boost archery. And speaking of archery, why don't we go ahead and start researching it? We'll start putting some turns into that now. I'm going to let my warrior heal for a turn. He might try to come out after me. So what I'll do is maybe stand on this tile. And then hopefully if he does, he'll stand here and I'll get the first shot on him. And if he does, I can always clear out the camp. So he didn't really fall for it. He didn't take the bait. I probably should have headed north with this warrior. I could probably handle this with the 2 units already, but that's all right. We're going to go ahead and grab a settler right away because I want to settle that second city. And I think I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to take the warrior. I'm going to double back, even though that's a little bit of waste of movement. It's not a big deal. But I will double back just so that I can prevent other barbs from sneaking up on me. All right, we're going to take a second hit with the warrior. We found Samarkand. We were the first to meet Samarkand, which gave us an envoy. That envoy means +2 gold in the capital, which is fantastic. And there's Code of Laws, which means we can plug in Discipline, which is +5 combat strength against barbarians, which is going to help us clear that barb camp. And then we're going to plug in Urban Planning because we don't need God King because we're already making 2 faith per turn, which is pretty incredible for the early game. Bring the Slinger around. And now that we picked up God King, why don't we go ahead and grab Foreign Trade? Because once we pick up Foreign Trade, we'll go for Early Empire, and Early Empire has the Colonization card, which is the +50% production towards settlers. Ooh, we met Mogadishu. We were not the first to meet Mogadishu, which is something that we need to be aware of, which means there's another AI near Mogadishu, which is not surprising. And it looks like they spawned out a galley. So I got to be careful when I'm settling cities on the coast. I'm going to want an archer in there or some sort of a defensive unit, some sort of a galley perhaps. Now I'm almost afraid to hit him with the warrior only because it seems like he's a little too weak. So what I might do is take a shot with the slinger and step back with the warrior so he doesn't kill himself on my warrior. I do want to boost archery. All right, let's get the kill. Boom. Perfect. Boosted archery just like we wanted. Bringing our units back. We want to find this AI immediately, which I'm guessing are in this kind of vicinity, kind of away from Samarkand, but like close enough to Mogadishu. And there's our Pantheon. So we could grab Goddess of the Festival. That would net us +1 culture on all plantation resources. So tobacco, dyes. We also could grab Goddess of the Hunt because we have furs on our continent, because every continent has 4 different luxury resource. So we have dyes, tobacco, and furs. And I'm not 100% sure what the 4th one is. I only see 1 copy of furs. As a matter of fact, if I do a quick search, there's a resource here. I'm not 100% sure what it is. 3 food, 2 production, 1 gold, which tells me that it's probably furs. And then this is faith, which tells me that it's probably dyes. With that in mind, I mean, we have a lot of choices. Religious settlements would give us a free settler right now, which is pretty strong. It's a pretty strong start, getting a free settler immediately. And we're already working on a settler. Like we're 5 turns away from picking up a settler. So maybe an early settler would do it. And then now we're 8 turns away because each settler that you pick up makes the next settler more expensive production-wise. And you know what? I do want to settle down here. I do want to settle coastally, even though there is a galley here. But you know what? I could post up my slinger in there and then upgrade him into an archer once we pick up archery. So I think we're going to be okay. I'm going to walk the settler down. We're going to settle on the coast. We're going to finish this settler. That way we're going to get 3 cities off the hop, which is going to be huge. Let's clear that out. That's 3 era score. Beautiful. But something I always try to keep in mind when settling coastal cities, I always try to have like some sort of a ranged unit or, you know, get ready to post up walls immediately. So there's Movemba, and he's got a scout down here. So that's probably the AI that I'm searching for. As a matter of fact, I should send him a delegation immediately. And you know what? I have a luxury resource to trade. And he's going to offer me 3 gold per turn. So I'll take the 3 gold per turn because that's a significant increase to my economy. And we're just going to try and keep an eye on him just to make sure that, he's happy with us. There's a campus that could be had here. There's well, you know what? I don't know if I want to settle the hill. I do want to keep as many of my hills as I can for production. So if I settle this city here, I get a hill out of the deal. I could put a dockyard here or even right over here. There's no difference between the two. A potential mausoleum could go in here, but I'm not 100% sure if this is going to be my mausoleum city. There is a potential for a canal right here. Well, yeah. And unfortunately, The furs is here, so I can't put like aqueduct and industrial zone here. But there is a potential for an industrial zone here if I want to, which would ideally crush the tile, unfortunately. So we don't have to do this. We could use the adjacency from the dockyard with a shipyard in it. I think a campus here, and then I could do something over here. I don't know. These are just tentative plans for now, but I kind of want a dockyard and a campus in every single one of my coastal cities. And then in London, this will be my city where my government plaza, Diplo quarter, and maybe a commercial hub or something like that is going to be the plan. So let's grab garrison because I'm going to get ready to upgrade this guy into an archer to defend the city against barbs. There's archery. Beautiful. You're going to go for a walk. You are also going for a walk in the desert. So with archery finished, why don't we pick up mining? It does lead into bronze working, which is going to reveal iron, which is another strategic resource that we want to get to know or know exactly where it is so that we can settle it. Mega colossal eruption. We lost the population in the capital, so we're going to want to get used to this. But the benefits of being next to a volcano on apocalypse mode are the yields. Like, look at those yields. 2 food, 2 production, 1 science. That's actually incredible. I want to get my hands on that immediately. I could buy the tile, but I think it's a good idea to save my early game gold for now. We're going to settle. Boom. Perfect. And pick up an archer so we can defend the city immediately. It would be nice. Well, I guess we don't need a granary in the city immediately because it is on a river, which is very nice. So I guess for early game, we could start working on a builder. Would be nice to pick up a builder, wouldn't it? And then we could put a camp on this furs and then sell it to the AI for some extra gold. 19 turns is a really long time. Or I could go for like an early monument and essentially just double my culture, which is massive as well because the city's busy building a settler. I mean, I have way better production in London. It's going to take a little bit for Plymouth to catch up, but it's not impossible. And I feel like a builder would help the city catch up. And if I have my districts on this side, I could do like potentially a mine over here, obviously a camp. We could sell that to the AI for a little bit of gold, and then eventually Plymouth will grow and then have access to these tiles on the volcano, which is fantastic. Yeah, I guess I'm not opposed to picking up a builder, and then that would help get the monument online a little bit faster after. So I think picking up early builders, I'm always a fan of picking up early builders. I don't know if other people do that as well, but I'm always a fan. I think a city really benefits off early builders just to get some extra production, extra food, extra yields. You always picking up those extra luxury resources in the early game. The fact that we settled on a resource in the early game is netting us 3 gold per turn with Movemba. And that essentially increased our economy by 60%. So it's massive, right? Early game luxury resources and resources period is massive. So there's a massive desert here, which is kind of annoying. I mean, it's not annoying, but it's just like not great for settling. I haven't really found any great places to settle a third city. I mean, obviously there's some decent coast here. There's okay tiles over here. It's not terrible. I don't really know what's in this fog of war. I wish I cleared that out. You know what? It's not even that bad. If I settled right here, I would have access to 2 mine tiles. I have access to these fantastic volcanic tiles. I kind of dig it. But I also kind of dig some of this jungle because there's no chops over here. I could always settle this later, right? And if I settle the cities with chops, I could take advantage of that with an early Magnus. So maybe what I'll do is I'll head over here, maybe settle right on the maze for a little bit of extra gold. That's 2 gold per turn in the capital. And I could maybe steal this tile away from Mogadishu, get some extra horses online. So we got 2 settlers and it's turn 27. So we're going to have 3 cities by turn 30, which is pretty good. I think an early monument, I don't do very well with early monuments. It's not that I don't do really well. I just rarely do early monuments, which is probably not the most strategic thing to do. You know what I mean? To essentially double my culture could essentially double like the trajectory of my culture game, right? Not that I'm doing a culture game, but it would essentially double my trajectory into the culture tree. Right? So I think it's not a bad idea. Why don't we grab pottery? That leads into writing. We do want to pick up campuses. We're not in a rush to pick up campuses. Matter of fact, we're not in a rush to pick up granaries or pottery. I would like to pick up bronze working. I also would like to pick up sailing because once I pick up sailing, I can put a fishing boat on the seals and then potentially a fishing boat on the crabs. And then we could boost celestial navigation and then eventually start placing dockyards immediately. So the earlier we get the dockyards, the better. So why don't we go ahead and pick up sailing? I'm trying to kind of talk through my decisions a little bit more and a little bit clearer with a little bit better vocabulary as I usually do. But it takes practice, you know what I mean? So why don't I jump in the woods, because it's a more defensible terrain, to kill the barbarian. I am tempted actually to settle on the Plains Hill. I know that I said I would settle here. I mean, that is 2 gold immediately, but that's an extra production in the city center immediately, and it gets me a little bit closer to this volcano so that I can take advantage of those yields as well. So I think I'm going to go for that. Unfortunately, it does move me further away from the horse. They're on fortified defenses. That's +6 combat strength for the spearman. So he has a significant advantage against me, but I'm still going to take a hit on him. I did get a promotion, which is nice because I'll grab Battle Cry. That'll be a +7 combat strength. And then we will settle on the Plains Hill. Gets me 1 tile closer to the volcano, which is nice. So we'll have advantages because it'll erupt throughout the game, and then we'll get these amazing yields. The downside to settling the city on this tile is that we don't have really good tiles in our immediate vicinity of the city. But what I could do is I could steal the horse tile from London because it's not actually working the horse tile. And that's at least a good starting tile. That's 3 food, 1 production. It'll allow the city to grow faster. And I could open up again with a builder in here. And I'm not opposed to that. I think I'm going to open up with builders. I'm going to pick up a monument in London, and then we'll go hard into settling. And then eventually I'll pick up monuments in Plymouth and Leeds. I just think like an early builder would help the production and pick up luxuries and so on and so forth in the immediate now. So like we were talking about, we're going to grab Battle Cry +7 combat strength against the spearman. And we found Mbuila, and oh my God, where are you going with that, sir? This might be our moment here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if the settler steps out. Okay, so we have a little bit of a problem here. This quadrireme is going to be a pain in the ass. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk over with my archer, and maybe we can start taking shots on this guy because this is why I hate quadriremes. I fucking hate quadriremes. I mean, props to the barb for doing that, but Jesus, that's a piss off. So it looks like the settler is heading north. Or maybe he's just heading up this way because I'm kind of blocking him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my warrior here, and then we'll see what direction he goes. If he goes here, or it doesn't matter where he goes, I might take the settler. I mean, a free settler is a free settler. I mean, a free settler is massive, right? So let's do what we do. Let's do what we do best. Take the settler. That's a free city, essentially. And essentially, we would be slowing them down. Like, if we got cornered and we deleted the settler, that's 1 less settler for the AI, which is massive. I'm not going to pick up a builder because I don't really have any tiles to improve, except for the horses, but I already got a builder kind of designated for that. So I think I'm going to go immediate. I mean, it wouldn't be bad to pick up another archer just to defend against Movember, but I feel like a little bit of greediness would pay off. So maybe we'll pick up another settler. Would be nice to get some more production in the city. It would be nice to grab that tile just so that we can work that tile. So now we have 2 food and 2 production tiles, plus we get that extra science, which is money. Super happy about that. So why don't we heal the warrior, or maybe we'll move the warrior. We'll get the archer over here. I want to kill the quad. So we picked up sailing, foreign trade. Perfect. We got a builder. Oh, no. No. Maybe we should have picked up an archer. Where is this guy coming from? Uh-oh. Well, we already got a problem in this direction. You can head over here. I probably should pick up a unit because I'm being pretty greedy, but I really want to be greedy here. Let's go for early empire. 16 turn early empire. We should be able to boost this in like 1 turn, actually. Yeah, you know what? Let's go hard settler. Okay, so there's sailing. We could go for celestial immediately. Why don't we grab astrology? We will run away. Let's get the hell away from that guy. So boosted early empire, like we talked about. We've grown to a 2 food 2 production, so we will grow as a city and work the other 2 food 2 production. So that's great. Maybe this scout is from this barb camp. So let's clear this out and shoot. Boom. Builder's finished. Let's get this online. Boom. That's 1 out of 2 fishing resources. Why don't we grab an archer? I feel like we should grab an archer. I don't think it's very efficient to grab an archer without a Gage though. So I'm kind of tempted to wait until we pick up early empire and then go for craftsmanship. And then once we pick up early empire as well, we'll have it boosted probably, because I do plan on boosting it by placing another sea resource right here, like another fishing boat on the sea resource, and then placing a camp. That'll boost it. Yeah. So for now, we could grab a trader. Trader has really good return on investment. Okay, we got a shot taken on us. There is a trouble village here, which is nice. Let's jump here. The reason why I jumped in the woods is because it's a more defensible tile than the marsh. The marsh gives you, I believe, -2 combat strength. This gives you +3 combat strength, if I'm not mistaken, the woods. So I'm going to take a shot either way. So I figured I'll jump in the woods. So unfortunately, I can't see the quad. So I am just going to start walking back to my city and defend the city. It's just something that we're going to have to deal with. Put a fishing boat here, boosted celestial. And we're also working this 2 food, 3 gold, which isn't like super efficient for me. So I think what I want to do, I'm okay with the seal. I'm okay with the fox. I'd rather work the hill here. Early game production. It's going to go for a long way with me. It looks like Mogadishu did swallow up the horse tile, so I'm not going to get my hands on it, but that's, you know, that's all right. So we're at war with Mogadishu, which sucks. I didn't realize that they were suzerain of them. 4 turns until we can make peace. If I can make peace, like right away, I mean, essentially we just got a settler for free. Oh my God, they have 2 warriors. This might be one of those situations where we delete the settler. Unless I can run away up here. I don't know. We'll see. Like, I would rather delete the settler than let those guys get their settler back. I guess they wouldn't exactly get the settler back, though, would they? If Mogadishu took it. But still, if I'm not getting the settler, I don't want nobody else getting the settler. You know what I mean? Okay, there's early empire, which means we can plug in the colonization card, which is plus 50% towards settlers, which is huge because we are working on a settler right now. 4 turns. We got ourselves another builder. So let's get the pasture onto the horses so that we can start collecting horses and hopefully sell them to the AI once we make peace with them. We got 1 more turn until we can make peace. Hopefully they'll be willing to make peace because I would love to keep the settler. There's astrology, which is great. Leads into celestial navigation. So we got 13 turns until we pick that up. And we got ourselves a governor title, which is exciting. I was talking about picking up Magnus earlier. Would it be a bad idea to pick up Liang as well? Because if I picked up Liang, that's +1 build charge. All my builders. In the city, obviously, that I produce the builders. Now, I'm not really working on builders at the moment. I wouldn't mind picking up more builders soon enough. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with picking up Liang in the early game. Now, if I'm thinking about what my cities are going to build, like I was talking about picking up a monument, I still think that's a good idea. So I'm going to start working on that. That's, you know, essentially an extra 40% on my culture just by picking that up. I'm going to pick up a trader, maybe pick up a monument in here as well. So I might pick up a builder in London. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to appoint Liang into London. And then once I pick up the settler, I'll pick up the builder. So we'll pick up craftsmanship. We'll boost craftsmanship. How do I turn off the AI animations like that? I will show you. You go into options. If you come into graphics, you hit advanced options, you scroll all the way down, animated leaders, static, no audio. And I find that if you do that, the game crashes a lot less. So I'm kind of digging it. I mean, unfortunately, yeah, you don't get these awesome animations, but it does help, especially with the game crashing. So we have come to the point where we can make peace with Mavemba. He'll take a straight peace. So I'm going to accept this deal. So now we're at peace with Mogadishu. Excellent. So we don't have to worry about Mogadishu trying to kill us. So now we can start walking back to our empire, which is exciting stuff that we got ourselves a free settler out of the deal. I love it. No problem. Mr. Best 24/7. Ancient Era is done in 5 turns. Something that we do need to be aware of because we are 1 era score short of picking up a normal age. So what can I do? I could grab suzerainty of Samarkand if I could just pick up an envoy, but I don't think that is possible. I know what I'm going to do. I need to pick up Well, you know what? He's hurt. How many turns is it going to take? 6 turns to get there. I have 5 turns. Take him 4 turns. You know what? He's going to take a risk because if I pick up that tribal village, that's an error score, and we dodge ourselves a Dark Age. Got ourselves another settler. We're not even going to try for that one, but it was fun taking a settler when we did. So let's plan out our empire just a little bit. I mean, I don't really quite have all my cities down, but we should definitely have like some sort of a plan for our empire. So I'm thinking probably something like Aqueduct. I do want to do like a heavy industrial zone kind of a game. I think English Eleanor does benefit from that. So doing like a +5 industrial zone here would work really good. For Leeds, it would offer some production and so on and so forth. It's out of the vicinity of the volcano, so it's not going to get absolutely pillaged and destroyed every 3 turns or 10 turns. I guess the volcanoes haven't been really that bad, but they tend to be like just like a pain in the ass when you least suspect it or when you least want it to. So I think, yeah, so this works good for that city, no problem, no diggity, no doubt. There is a volcano over here, so something that I need to be aware of. Let's think about, I don't think I can place an aqueduct here. No, and the reason why is because the tile is directly on the other side of the river, so you can't have an aqueduct go out and then back to the river. You understand? I could have one here because it would go right to the volcano, but it would constantly get pillaged. Unless I get the promotion on Liang, which is reinforced materials, which the city's improvements and buildings districts cannot be damaged by environmental effects, which actually isn't like, it sucks because it's 3 governor titles. But on the way there, zoning commissioner, which is plus 20% production towards constructing districts in the city, which is pretty strong considering, especially because it's like only 2 governor titles in. So that's a strategy that we can go with. I haven't done that strategy in a little while, but let's think about this. So if I did like an aqueduct here and an industrial zone here, right? And then we did, well, if I did the aqueduct here, I'd want to do the industrial zone here because of the horse, that +1 production on industrial zone for strategic resources, which would be cool if I could put like the industrial zone over here, but then there's a dam and that gives pretty good adjacency. So we're not going to even bother. Not a big deal. All things considered, this volcano is going to be a bit of a nightmare, isn't it? Yeah. So maybe we don't put the government plaza on this side. I do want an industrial zone here. I know that I said that I wanted, what is it called? The government plaza and the diplomatic quarter in London. But I do want, I think maybe for my 3rd district, the industrial zone in London's just for some extra production and so on and so forth. And we can just like mass produce like units and stuff like that. I think that would be really, really cool. But I just need to decide like where is everything going to go? You know what I mean? And I'd like to kind of build everything kind of away from the volcano so that I'm not constantly dealing with this. So if I canceled this and I went aqueduct into an industrial zone in this direction, I know it's not as good of an industrial zone, but if I place like perhaps a government plaza right here, right? Then there's possibilities for a commercial hub from London if I decide to do a commercial hub. I mean, these are just tentative plans, right? So it doesn't have to be this way. Because if I placed more cities down, right? I mean, I got all these resources down here. Jesus, I'm getting blocked by resources as far as dockyards are concerned. But if I place like a city close by here, I could place a dockyard here. And then there's another city that could be had here with a potential dockyard there. I don't know. Must be adjacent to coast. Well, we don't really know. Like, what the fuck is here? Anyway, it doesn't matter. If we place it here, it doesn't matter. This is fine. But this being said, if this is the setup, then we could do like some campuses over here, like a campus here, and then a potential campus here, and then something else over here. I don't know what it would be. Maybe like a theater square, and then something else. So this is an okay setup. This is an okay setup. So it's just good to know where my districts are going to go. So that's cool. I'm a ways away from picking up state workforce, 13 turns exactly. So very excited to get that so that I can place the government plaza. So this build is really essentially out of things to do until I pick up this settler. Once I pick up the settler, I'm probably going to go settle this city here. I mean, where's the luxury resources at? Or where are the strategic resources at? That is the question that we need to answer. I know that I spent a little while on that turn, but it's important. It's important to know where your districts are going to go, and it's important to know where your settler is going to go. I'm going to jump on this hill. I just want to clear out this fog of war. I just want to get an idea of what's going on back there. There's a catastrophic eruption hurting Samarkand's warrior. Okay, I thought that was my warrior for a sec. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. But it's not. I don't know where this quadrarine is, but we're going to pick that up next turn. And yeah, that'll be just in time, so we don't have to deal with the Dark Age. I'm not really interested in picking up holy sites. There's 4 other AIs going for religion. I don't think I'm going to go for religion in this game. I'm going to go for like a heavy industrial game. I have a settler coming down, so like the settler essentially could settle here. Now let's think about this for a second. Let's get the lens off and think about where we want to settle exactly. So again, there's the volcano, so we got to be aware of that. If we settled here, that would allow some room on the river, and then we could settle on the rice. And then it kind of blocks off this entire area unless I settle right here, which this actually seems like a decent mausoleum city because there's so many coast tiles, which I'm totally for. There's a campus here, which is decent. Wow. And then a dockyard here. So that couldn't be a campus if the dockyard's here. Ooh, unless I move the dockyard there, which is worse. But no, I'd rather have a good dockyard so that when I pick up shipyard, it has incredible production. So losing this campus might be just something that I need to accept for picking up all these like crazy mausoleum tiles, which I'm fine with, I guess. So question is, what city do I want to settle? I need to forward settle Movemba, so I feel like I need to settle this city. It's a really bad city. It's an absolutely, it's like bonkers how bad the city is, actually, which makes me not even want to do this kind of a plan. Because if I moved over 1, 2, 3, yeah, I essentially am blocking myself completely. For what though? For this one city, the city that is absolutely atrocious. Although the more cities I have, the more districts I have, the more districts I have, the more yields I have, the more yields I have, the more likely I am to win the game. So let's think about this differently. Let's work backwards. So say I want to settle here. I can settle somewhere on these 3 tiles, which isn't terrible. It would be nice to be close to the river so that I can aqueduct. So really, it would be better to settle on this city, settle on that tile. And then I'm essentially blocking all of this, but at least I can aqueduct over. Is it worth it? God, it's so hard to decide. But if I did this, and then this. Oh, that's not right. There you go. This. That's way better. 3 way better cities. The downside is I would have to settle in the desert over here, which isn't, I mean, it's terrible. Don't get me wrong. It's terrible. This is going to be a really bad city. This city is going to struggle. I'm not even going to settle that city right now. So why don't we settle on fresh water first? I am bringing a settler down. So maybe I can bring the settler down and settle that city. And then this city can be settled here on the tip. Why don't we grab a builder? Boom. 7-turn builder. Fantastic. We're going to get that extra build charge because of Liang, which is great. We have deals to offer, actually. We have furs and dyes. 16 gold per turn, 38 raw gold. Really good. I'm going to grab the gold per turn. It will essentially almost 150% our economy. So let's do that. Let's sell some horses for gold per turn and some open borders for 21 gold. Basically, taking all of their gold. We are going to get gold, open borders from them. So craftsmanship's been unlocked, which is great, which will allow us access to the Agage card. I think I'm going to plug that in because I haven't seen a barb in a while, and I think it's not a bad idea to just be ready to pump out like an archer or another archer at least. I think we should actually pick up another archer now that we're talking about it because we're about to settle another coastal city. Now, how many turns until we pick up state workforce? 12 turns is a while. We just finished a trader. We could essentially go for a monument, which would increase our culture. And I'm kind of into this early, like picking up culture and so on and so forth. Or Hear me out. Hear me out. We pick up a galley, a couple of galleys. We get 100% production towards galleys through maritime industries. We pick up a couple galleys. That's going to decrease the amount of production time by, I believe, 8.5 turns. So we could pick up 2 galleys in 17 turns. 17 turns is a long time. This city is struggling with production, which sucks. So it might benefit from a builder as well. But culture or information. I feel like early galleys would also protect our coastal cities and give us information about the map. So I think I'm going to go for an early galley. We are only turn 49, but I think an early couple of galleys would go really well. So we'll get rid of discipline. We'll go immediate maritime industries, 100% production. Boom, boom, boom. 9-turn galley. There you go. Okay, let's pick up the tribal village, giving us an era score and giving us an envoy. Wow. We can grab suzerainty of Samarkand, but I'm going to hang on to the envoy until next era so that we can save a little bit of era score. And we have a trade route. Lovely. I'm going to trade with Samarkand only for the reason that it's going to build a nice road through London, through Leeds, and then we'll have a nice road connecting Plymouth to Leeds. I think I'm going to call that the end of the episode. I appreciate you guys watching. If you've enjoyed this episode, please hit that like button and leave me a comment. And if you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe.